All right, let's move on now. The current situation or security situation in the southeast of Nigeria is a strong cause of concern. Now, at least 127 police and security personnel have been killed this year in the southeast region, and more than 24 police stations razed, according to media reports. And now President Muhammadu Buhari, who is under increasing pressure to tackle insecurity, has ordered the police and army operation to stop the southeastern unrest, a decision that led to the launch of Operation Restore Peace by the police. Last month, governors of the southeast launched a regional security outfit, Ibubiagu, before the 17 governors of the south met to, amongst other resolutions, ban open grazing in a bid to address the security challenges in the region. Now, this is what we'll be talking about in the next couple of minutes. And I have with me in the studio gentlemen who have been following this trend. I have Chuks Moko with me here in the studio. Chuks Moko, good morning.
Thank you for
good to see you.
To you.
Great. And we expect Zigibe to join us as we discuss this topic going forward now. Now, Chuks, good to have you. Now, if you follow the development over the weekend, even until yesterday, the issues in the southeast seem to have been, or seem to be compounded by the sit-at-home order given by IPOB, the leader of IPOB, a proscribed organization by the government. And as it is, a lot of people became confused. IPOB on one hand, the governments on the other hand, governments of the southeastern states on the other hand. Now, we recall a Bonny State governor, Dave Umahi, who even gave out an order saying that anybody who obeys the order will forfeit his shop and all of that, although he had to retract that eventually. But what do you make of this, where people are obeying orders given by a non-state actor even more than states?
It is complete dislocation of government from the people. Or is it the people from the government? Anyway, whatever it is, it is a complete dislocation. There's no meeting point. And I think that that's what we need to establish. We need to go forward. And to go forward, somebody needs to create a point where we can meet. Because right now we're in a state of anarchy, confusion, and all the attributes. And it doesn't nobody any good, apart from few people who are the hem of affairs in the elites in that region, the instigators, as it were, because somebody somewhere is doing, is doing the drumming, and the young people are the ones dancing. Those who closed their shop and those who didn't go to church and those who obeyed the order, they did so because out of fear. Out of fear. People, if you live with a member of that organization and all that, and you don't obey the order, it's probably going to report you or see you as an enemy and all that. So, government is not able to take on you if you disobey them by staying inside your house. But if you disobey this other organization, you cannot deny that people are passionate and are major followers of that organization. So I think that we got into a point where we need to sit down together and call them. Even we do that with their children. You can have 10 children and one of them is just a gifted troublemaker. Now you can. Growing up, I was thoroughly beaten, and because as a young man, as a child, you're a boy and all that. You're just a child.
So sometimes we have a black sheep within the family.
Those 10. So we have gotten to that point. I believe that we have gotten to this morning. I think we've gotten to that point where somebody needs to provide the needed leadership and say, okay, you know what? No more anarchy, let's meet. What is the problem? If they say they want a state of their own, you can say, no, you might not have it, but what else do you want?
Yeah, but this new leadership, or this leadership you're talking about, is it supposed to come from the federal government or is from the state governments? At this point, it can come from anywhere. What I do not like and what is lacking is the silence of the elites. And that silence for me speaks volume. Because if you go back in time, 1999, when we used to have Mr. Mbadinuju as governor of Anambra State, Udenwa in Imo State, Carlo in whatever, particularly in Anambra State, we have had these things going on. Just that the scale and the dimensions has just gone out of control. But
We have had it. And the reason we will always have this thing, not just in Nigeria, globally, is because you cannot have democracy divorced from violence and criminality and agitation. It's not possible. The only place you probably will not have this type of thing is maybe in China or in Russia. But if you are a lover of democracy, you will always go back in time and check it out. It's an associated, they're associated partners. They're next of kin. Democracy and violence and criminality. What we have lacked is the ability to handle it, to deal with it and all that. Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, did something somewhere in Bayelsa, and maybe because there was available leadership. You know, you might not like what he did and all that, but that put an end to that kind of...
You're referring to the OD.
Yes.
And the Zakibiam.
He put an end to that kind of thing and all that. And those who were caught were disciplined. You cannot have a society without order. Right? Now, human beings by nature do not like order. So if you put an order, that means you're going to enforce it. We have not been able to have that because...
Human being by nature doesn't like order.
No, human beings by nature. You can put an order here, you know, and you find somebody who is just going to flout it. After a while, it becomes a pattern. Now, to enforce it, once you lose control with enforcement, what you have is anarchy, and that's what we have right now.
Is that where we are right now? Government has lost control of that order? Is that what you're saying?
To be honest, when you're, during your news, whatever, and you're talking to your in-house analyst, you know, he says something about government. I think that we've demonized government enough. I mean, as he was speaking, I was thinking, looking at you like, if you are appointed into government in your state, you're a good guy, you have good intention, you know, you love this country and all that. Now, you might not be able to satisfy everybody or provide solution to the crisis that you mean. That doesn't mean that you are demonized or you don't know what you're doing. You're just overwhelmed because you're dealing with people who are completely and consistently out of control. People just are out of control. We're a difficult set of people. Then we do not have the institutions that are also powerful to handle some of these things. The police, the whatever. I mean, do you know what I mean? I was listening to you. 127 security men have been killed. How many do we have in the first place? Dozens of police stations raised. So where do we start from? It means that these other guys, they have upper hands over our own national institutions. There's something missing somewhere. And our elites are quiet. So I think that where we are right now this morning, somebody should call a meeting and say, look, let's talk. Let's discuss. Let's negotiate. What do you want? Then you take it from there.
Now, when we see the trend where police formations are being attacked, INEC, the courts, institutions are being razed down and burned and destroyed with everything inside. What do you make of that trend? Do you see an agenda going on, or is just mischief?
Of course. Elections are just a few years away from now. We're in 2022, 2021. We just going to June. Half of the year is gone. You know, so the political maneuvering has already started. So if that kind of thing is going on in that place, that means that they don't want elections to hold in the year 2023. By the way, talking about elections, I think that one of the things that upsets me about this up to this point, where I'm no longer upset, is that we claim that we are lovers of democracy and all that and all that. But meanwhile, we play it, well, let me not talk about democracy, let me talk about politics. We're involved in politics, which is a game. And politics is just an arm of democracy. We play badly. We demonize our opponents. Then we lose out in the elections and we want to be compensated. I want to openly say that I do not agree with that kind of thing. Do you understand? So I thought that this coming election in 2023 will allow everybody to play politics, political party politics, the way it should be played, and make sure that you win. Because where person they walk, now in the chop, that's how we're speaking in Delta. Do you understand what I'm saying? You cannot, you can't refuse to walk, then you want to eat. Because I see some of the things that are going on, and I ask people who send me stuff, this thing that you're sending to me, have you questioned it before you sent it to me? Why are you sending this to me? You think I'm one of such persons that will just start sharing? I will not share because I like to question things. Elections is coming. So the pattern, what I see is that somebody is sitting down somewhere and saying, look, we need to raise down INEC office, we need to raise down the police station, we need to raise down the cost. These are very powerful instruments, elements in our democratic process. Then you are raising them. That means you don't want to hold the election.
And they are the
and the anarchy is going
democracy.
to grow, because when you don't have an election, how do you get somebody to rule your state and all that? I think that we should play the politics and play it very well.
When you talk about the issue of politics and demonizing the opponent and all of that, it means that our political culture has not matured over time.
It has matured.
Okay, so what is the missing link?
The people that are involved here, they are matured. We are matured for 20-something years. I mean, even though it's just 20-something years, we have had a democratic process intermittently, dating back to time. I think that what is going on is that people don't want to work, but they want to eat. Greed, selfishness, self-centeredness. So you play your politics, you lose out. Then you begin to agitation. You want this, you want that. Oh, they appointed this, they appointed that. Those who the man who won an election have to reward those that he can trust, those that work for him. In the political party politics, there's work and there's a reward.
Yeah, but isn't that the challenge of the maturity of political culture?
It is not,
because the point there is that anyone who gets into office, of course, you have the benefits of office.
Is the maturity. That's why this program is whatever. Because I educated somebody who lives in Minnesota in the US, who is constantly sending me stuff. And I say, you can't start abroad and sending this to me, because I know better. Do you understand? You are sending me stuff where you're saying state, house local government and all. I ask her, what is the landmass of my state? What is the population of my state? Those truths, those facts are essential in our political debate. I am not emotional about it. I'm a honest person. What is the landmass? I chaired a political party in my state one time, and I had a candidate who was coming from somewhere in Brno. It took him 4 days to get to Abuja, and I was waiting for him. It cost me money waiting for him. It was when he came and I saw his garment all dusty, and he began to tell me the distance he has to cover before he could get to Abuja. And recently somebody came to visit me here from Adamawa, a friend of mine. I know now, and I've always known the distance. So we don't have this experience, and we allow politicians to sit in their cozy sitting rooms and compose these things and send it to you, and you're forwarding it to me. You can't do that to me, because the people must be educated. So it's the populace, the citizens, the ordinary people that must be educated in such a way that when these elites call them into their houses to have political meetings and they're saying these things to them, they'll be able to question them. That these things you're saying to us, it's not factual. It's because it's the elites that are instigating this thing, not by giving them arms necessarily, but by the things you are saying. If you want to win an election, play politics. Play with understanding and knowledge. Play in such a way that you can win. So that when you win, you will enjoy. You cannot finish antagonizing me and playing politics on your platform or against my own political party, and I win, and you think I'll call you. Is this reward system that some of them have enjoyed by making trouble? There are just some of them. I know one of them in Abuja. The man doesn't have a job, and I keep talking. You know the essence of job, working. It's not about the money. It's about being happy. Working makes you happy. The scripture commands us to work, and it says, "He who does not work should not eat." So we're in a bad state where people eat without working. That can make a man very sad, and you don't know where your sadness is coming from. You think it's from Buhari? It's not. Or you think it's from your spouse? It's not. Then you have you have some set of guys. What they do is sit down and write proposals. Proposals that are all my life, all I've done is do proposals to companies and all. And when you write a proposal, they're looking at investment, the page that contains your return on investment, or that has a unique proposing a selling unit.
Exactly.
These guys, they write and speaking this as if the rest of us are illiterates. And when government says no, they go home and they are doing these things that they are doing. I think that where we are right now is that we need to be patriotic enough to know that whatever you sow will come back to you. Stop the violence. Stop instigating violence. What is at the end of the day, ask yourself, what is the motivation for all these things that we're doing? It's money. Nigeria is not a poor country, because if you get the amount of money that they are giving to bandits and all that. I know when this thing started 25, 26 years ago in the Niger Delta, we thought that violence was something that was given to a group of people. See, now it has spread around, and everybody have their own motivation. Everybody have their own motivation. You turn on your TV or your social media, you hear everybody speaking. Just once you have a voice and you can shout and you can have, what is it called? and all that, and you're insulting Nigeria. And I think it's high time we start respecting the entity called Nigeria. We become patriotic, then speak to ourselves, because the individuals that are causing this problem, it's not the country. The country is an endowed country, it's a blessed country. You don't know how blessed and endowed we are here until you go out.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you stay here, haven't gone anywhere, you're just speaking about Nigeria. Nigeria is a blessed country. It's the people, some people that are the troublemakers.
But the government who knows all of these things, the government who has the power and authority to instill all of this knowledge and all of that, what should it begin to do now to make things different? Because like you said, a lot of people may not have traveled, they don't know the dynamics, they don't make comparison, they don't know what is out there. So when they're sitting on gold or sitting on the wealth, they don't understand. They want to destroy the little they have. But government has a better understanding.
I was here some time ago with your colleague Veronica and we got talking about the same insecurity matter. And I said that what a man sows, he will reap. You remember this president, my president, this man, I love him because beside him, there's nobody. Growing up and knowing him as a military man, and I carry some of the attributes of discipline. But there were things he was saying. You take somebody who want to punish you, and he tells Jonathan, you don't. We stop punishing people for wrongdoing. We are not compensating bandits, and we know those who are interfacing with them. You haven't done anything to anybody to show that they are wrong. Ned Moko is there. Nobody has arrested him for the death of people inside his house. So until you single out one person and discipline that person severely. Look, they were rioting the other time in Hong Kong. They've taken care of the problem. They have taken care of the problem permanently. You think they don't have crisis, or you think they don't have corruption? Do you hear them making noise? No, they know that for 2,000 years they were fighting wars. 70 years ago they decided that enough is enough. They now have a political party. You hardly hear them or you hardly see them. The reason you want to know what the Communist Party is doing, you just go to their website, their different departments, you check out what they are doing. The Wahala were inside. Nobody has been able to accuse them. But I've been here because I've followed these virus cases since 2003. And I know, I'm not a medical doctor, but there's no book on coronaviruses and the family dimensions that I don't know. Why? Because I will take the money that I will use to buy the materials, and I sit down, look at my eyes. I have to read so that when you invite me here, I have something. But China has not been, the only man who held them accountable has been put out of office. Donald Trump. Go to the recent report and all that. So you need to learn how to punish people when they do wrong. If you don't do it, in your house, if you don't know how to discipline your children, you are causing problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? This government needs to, by the way, if they are burning down stations and killing your people and all that, it just shows how incapacitated the government is in the first place. When they give them the money to go and buy equipment and all that. Have you followed up? Have they accounted and all that and all? So the government itself is overwhelmed, and I can tell you that the reason they are overwhelmed is because, look, the trouble is just too much. We need to speak to ourselves to stop the violence and leave government to do what they can do, but we need to discipline ourselves. Yeah. By the way, me and you, we discussed about the Tanzanian woman, and I was saying that the role of the woman, because it's husbands and sons that are doing this, and shame on our women and parents who raise men like this, who are doing this into our society. Let the woman train her sons how to respect the girl child. Don't go to schools and be kidnapping girls. Your husband is doing nonsense, you can't call him to order. Your son is a governor, you cannot cry and shout and say, I'm seeing you on TV. That's not how I raised you. We can't have a society when we don't have a home. Most of our guests are not raised. So they can't even raise their own children. You see how children are messing around. And tomorrow they become governors. That's how you have all these loud, unrestrained governors and leaders who just think that being a governor is a license to becoming a thug, or you are being a thug, you mature to become a governor. It's the mothers that should be held accountable, and shame on all of you who are not able to raise your children. Because, girl, you go to an Islamic school and kidnap young people and you drop some because they cannot walk. And now the same seed they are sowing, because their own children will be kidnapped when they retire from this banditry and kidnapping. I think that we need to speak to ourselves and speak the truth. Parenting is very important. Mike, you and I need to build a home, raise homes, raise good children, godly children, well-behaved children. Once we do that, you're going to have a sane society. I'm telling you the truth.
All right, you've made great points in there, and I'm looking forward to, as all Nigerians look forward to greater days and government taking that action to ensure that things change. Thank you so much, Chuks Nwoku, for coming on the program.
Thank you. As always.
Right.